And she's a big time R&B bitch. You know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of big time R&B back then. You know, I ain't gonna call them women. You know, you had Mary J. Blige, you had Beyonce, you had, and y'all know that she liked to scream and make a lot of noise, then y'all know who I'm talking about.
Ever since Pimp C passed, the street's been buzzing with questions about what really went down. And somehow, the story always swings back to Beyonce and Jay-Z. People can't help but wonder why their names keep coming up every time his death is mentioned.
Anybody that didn't this bitch before, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know that she liked to scream and make a lot of noise, then y'all know who I'm talking about. Anybody that, you know, that's in Houston that knew was a going around Houston, fucking a lot of rappers and shit, then you know who I'm talking about. But because Pimp C never told y'all, I would be out of pocket, you know what I'm saying, to say who it is.
Now here's where things get wild. In one of Pimp C's last interviews, he dropped a cryptic bomb, hinting he had an X-rated tape of a famous celeb that could shake the whole industry if it ever leaked. Not long after, that interview became the center of rumors that never died down.
Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls.
Word in the game is that the celeb Pimp was talking about was none other than Beyonce herself. People been whispering that someone made sure he'd never get the chance to drop that tape. Allegedly, of course. Even Pimp's close friend Ken broke the silence in one of his own explosive interviews, saying Pimp C once told him about a tape involving a big-name R&B diva and one of hip-hop's most powerful rappers. He didn't have to say names. The clues said it all.
Okay, we want to get that clear.
He did not.
Pimp C did not die of a drug overdose.
No. He did. The coroner told me that there was not enough of anything in his system to have killed him.
According to several insiders, the woman was allegedly Beyonce, and this supposedly happened back when she and Jay-Z were still on and off. Rumor has it, during one of those rough patches, Beyonce might have gotten close to Pimp C, and that's when the alleged tape was made. From there, the whispers grew louder. Fans claim Jay-Z caught wind of it and moved mountains to bury it forever. Whether it's truth or just another urban legend, one thing's for sure. When it comes to the power couple of hip-hop, of course Jay-Z would want to protect Beyonce's image. That's his empire and his pride. But the story doesn't stop there. Jaguar Wright once claimed that Beyonce was getting a little too close with her bodyguards, allegedly so much that things started spinning out of control. According to Jaguar, it got so messy that Beyonce's own father had to step in and throw her into a girl group just to keep her focused and out of the chaos. Sounds wild, right? But when you line all that up, this rumored tape suddenly doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore.
I don't really know if all this is true, but I just heard parts like, I'm like, what happened to my guy?
Right.
And then they come out with the official. It was a mixture of some stuff, the prescription and something else or something that I don't really know. But with me, I never really heard something that would give that closure for me.
Now here's where it gets even darker. There's a conspiracy theory floating around that Jay-Z himself might have had something to do with Pimp C's mysterious death. Back in December 2007, Pimp C was in Hollywood, staying busy, performing shows, and working on music with Too Short. He was supposed to head back to Texas on December 4th, but that morning, something felt off. He never showed up for his flight. When his wife Shauna and his cousin Edgar couldn't reach him by phone, panic started to build. They called his hotel and asked the staff to check on him, and that's when they made the heartbreaking discovery. Pimp C was gone. The official word pointed to Lean, since he and DJ Screw had basically made it famous in hip-hop culture.
I think it's close to somebody did tamper with my man and take him out the game. I don't think the sleep apnea did it because I got sleep apnea, and it's been years.
But here's the thing. Tons of rappers been sipping lean for decades and didn't end up like that. So what really made Pimp C's case so different? Doctors claimed it was the perfect storm. They said his sleep apnea made everything worse, that the lean hit him so hard he stopped breathing in his sleep and never woke up. But for a lot of people, that story just doesn't sit right. Even Bun B, Pimp's day one partner, explained that while Pimp was locked up, he gained a serious amount of weight. He went in wearing an XL and came out rocking a 4XL. That weight gain made his sleep apnea even more dangerous. And when you mix that with lean, yeah, it's risky. But still, something about that official story feels too clean, too easy.
Yeah, so that whole situation with him, you know, with them planting, and like all that stuff was planted, bro. Like that's not even his stilo. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's levels to this.
He raps about lean a lot.
It was Live Soul Entertainment, $1.5 million deal with Jive.
He was part of that.
For my birthday. He died on my birthday.
So the deal...
See, Bun B might be the only one close to Pimp who actually accepted that explanation because Pimp's own mother, the legendary Mama West, never believed it for a second. She swore her son wasn't out of control or strung out like people tried to claim. According to her, Pimp always called every night before bed, no matter what. And the night before he was found, the phone never rang. That silence hit her like a warning. When she finally got that call from the hotel, her heart already knew something was wrong. Mama West later said even the coroner told her the truth didn't match the headlines. They admitted they couldn't say exactly what caused his death, but one thing was clear, it wasn't an overdose. He didn't even have enough lean in his system to take him out. So now the big question is, if it wasn't the codeine or the apnea, then what really happened that night? Because that official story is starting to sound more like a cover-up. Too Short, who was with Pimp C just before he passed, also said the story never sat right with him. He was supposed to meet up with Pimp for dinner that very day, but when Pimp never showed, Too Short got worried and started calling around for answers. He even went to the hospital himself, but nobody would tell him a thing. Years later, he's still saying the whole situation felt off, especially since so many celebs just happened to die alone in hotel rooms. Come on, that pattern's too familiar to ignore.
How did Pimp C die? They said it was lean, but you said it's pretty much a hit. Was he assassinated?
I said it's pretty much it.
Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
Then there's Helio, another one of Pimp's close affiliates, who backed up the same story. Helio also has sleep apnea. He said he's experienced choking in his sleep plenty of times, but never once came close to death. So why would Pimp C's case be so different? Unless there was something else happening behind the scenes. And here's the part that really flips the table. A lot of folks believe Pimp C was targeted. He wasn't scared to speak the truth. He called out record labels, exposed fake executives, and started talking about the dark side of the industry. Word is he even had dirt on some of the biggest names out there, including that alleged Beyonce tape that could have blown everything wide open.
So,
Super Tight exclusive.
So C went to the restroom and Buddy said, look, y'all don't say nothing. I'm gonna play a joke on Pimp. And he poured something into his drink. And when he came back from the restroom, he started drinking it and almost immediately started throwing up blood. And what made me believe that, I packed C bags after he passed.
From that same hotel.
Same hotel.
It gets crazier. Actor Orlando Brown even claimed the whole lean story was nothing but a setup. According to him, he'd been around Pimp for years and never saw him sip lean. He said the strongest thing he ever saw Pimp drink was red wine. So if that's true, how could they call it an overdose? Another rapper who Pimp mentored backed that up too, saying straight up in an interview that none of it added up. He straight up said it. Pimp C's death felt more like an assassination than an accident. According to him, someone spiked Pimp's drink that night, and the whole lean story was just a slick cover-up to make it sound like another tragic rapper overdose. Even Pimp's cousin Edgar spoke out in an interview and dropped some shocking details. He said a reliable source told him there were actually people inside that hotel room the night Pimp died. Allegedly, 2 men and 1 woman.
Still just monitoring it. So later on, I tell Shannara, hey, he about to miss his flight, and he got PO today. He never missed PO. He'll miss anything but a PO.
Yeah.
And I said, look, they know you were there in the room with him. Call the hotel, ask them to go see if make sure your husband is up.
And here's where it gets chilling. One of those dudes supposedly pulled a prank by slipping something into Pimp's drink. The second Pimp took a sip, he started vomiting blood. And when they later found his body, the bed was covered in blood. That part's confirmed in every report. Edgar said the coroner only tested for drugs, not poison, which means they could have completely missed what really killed him. And here's the part that'll send chills down your spine. Edgar claimed the guy who did it was actually bragging about taking out Pimp C afterward. But get this. That same dude ended up dead not long after, and so did his brother. Now tell me that doesn't sound suspicious as hell. But Edgar didn't stop there. He also side-eyed Pimp's wife, Shauna, for how things went down before the trip. Edgar was supposed to fly to LA with Pimp, but Shauna told him to stay home because he had work. Then there was that weird Bentley situation. Pimp didn't want to leave his car at the airport parking lot, but Shauna insisted. And when that Bentley ended up parked in a tow zone, Shauna didn't waste a second. She hopped on a flight back to Texas just to move it, leaving Pimp completely alone out in LA. That move had everybody scratching their heads. With all those strange little details lining up and the fact that someone clearly had easy access to Pimp while he was by himself, it's no surprise folks started side-eyeing Shauna's role in the whole situation. The street's been whispering ever since. Some even believe Shauna might have been used as a pawn in a much bigger setup. Because let's be real, once you start connecting the dots, it starts looking like Pimp C was caught in something way deeper than music beef. This man wasn't just a rapper, he was a voice, unafraid to call out industry power moves, and he hinted at holding a tape that could have ended careers. So when people say he was silenced before that footage could ever see daylight, the theory don't sound that crazy anymore. Once Beyonce and Jay-Z's names get mentioned, you know things get serious. That's the kind of power most folks wouldn't dare cross. So what do y'all think really happened here? Was Pimp C's death just a tragic coincidence, or was something way darker at play? And do y'all really think that secret Beyonce tape exists somewhere out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share it around, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one.